Hi, and welcome to the Law Simplified. I'm Shaveen Bandaranayake. Irrespective of the substantive content that you would have gone through in relation to the subject guides or the textbooks that have been provided by your university, or even the case law that you've accessed and gone through by way of the online libraries, when it comes down to it, it's all about putting pen to paper. It might be an assignment submission that's due in a few weeks or months, or the examination that you're sitting for at the end of the year or the end of the semester. Now, there are three fundamental words, or if I am to go so far as to consider three dreadful words, that every single law student would have encountered either in their first, second, or third years. These three words, essentially, law students hear from professors, from lecturers, and even colleagues that are senior to them. The three words that I'm referring to are apply the law. Now, it might seem simple enough, but having gone through a number of tutoring sessions throughout my masterclass program and having spoken to and provided feedback reports to countless students, these three words seem to be the pinnacle, the paramount problem when it comes to examination technique and being successful in the examination as a whole. This video is essentially part of a series of videos that I intend to put out in relation to establishing what on earth is meant by applying the law. Now, this is somewhat of a nuanced subject in terms of your technique, in terms of articulation, how to develop arguments, and so on. But fundamentally, there are three factors that you need to think about whenever you answer any law examination question. The first thing that you need to keep in mind, the most important aspect in relation to your answer, is structure. What I mean by structure is how exactly are you going to look at the question presented to you and how you're going to articulate the way in which you're going to attack or tackle this particular question. Your examiner wishes to know your thinking process. I've said this many a times, the LLB is much more about how you think than what you know. To show an examiner how you think, you need to let him or her into your mind's eye by virtue of the answer that you're providing. And the way we do that is to show that the structure is there. So that's stage one, or part one, of how you can apply the law. Step two, or point number two, is personality. Now, this is something very specific to you as a student. The personality of each individual is different to one another. Granted, there are general aspects that most people might share, but when it comes to an answer, your voice, so to speak, needs to be in that. And the way we do that is by virtue of the structure being presented in such a way that it is unique to you. Now, this comes from practice, and it comes from doing as many questions as possible within your academic year. It's just like training for a sport. The more you do, the better you get at it. The third point, or the third stage of this, is conviction. Now, I would argue that conviction is the most important aspect of any single law answer script. What I mean by that is you need to show the examiner that you are absolutely certain of your response. You must never indicate that you're on the fence with your response. You need to show your examiner that you have picked a side, you have chosen a particular argument, and you have gone forth and substantiated your arguments with case law, articles, and other material. Right, now this is somewhat of an expansive topic and there's a lot that we can unpack and go into. This was just one of the first videos to establish this series of videos on argument articulation as well as applying the law in your answer scripts. I conduct this and much more in terms of technique in my masterclasses. If you'd like to set one up, check out some of the links in the description below. Okay, quick recap. The three stages or the basics of applying the law in relation to your answer scripts: structure, personality, and conviction. We'll continue this series with much more detailed videos, but until the next time that we meet, have fun, stay safe, and obey the law.